I rank the icons of a bunch of my friends and Geometry Dash YouTubers. I've gathered the icon sets of a bunch of people who I know in the community, and I put their names into a tier list. Rankings are based on colors, icons used, and how well they mix with each other. If you enjoy this video, leave a like. It helps out the channel a lot. While you're down there, don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell for notifications. Anyways, on to the video.
I was fucked up. I was a down bad. Picked up the pad, pick up the slack, pick up the litter, don't litter no bag. Moxie been picking up.
Starting off with the Haha members, we have myself. Now, I'm gonna be a little biased because, of course, these are my icons. I've been using them for like upwards of 5 years. But it's a perfect set. You can't get any better than that. I got the cube and the UFO around the same time when I beat Deadlocked for my 50th demon. All 3 coins, obviously. The spider I got completing the demon gauntlet, and I've used it ever since. I genuinely feel it is one of the greatest spiders in the game. My wave has changed every now and then, but this wave that I have now, I find is the best, while still being the closest to the original 1.9 wave. And my ball changes the most frequent out of all the icons, because there's a handful that look decent. So I'm going in S tier, obviously, because, like I said, perfect icon set. Can't get any better. Next, we have the icon set of the verifier of To the Blue Moon himself, Max Velocity. Me and Max go way back, as he was in Haha when I first joined, and kind of grew from there. But, he doesn't have the best icon set. Max, I'm sorry, but your colors are a worse version of mine. Instead of having the gray and the lime green, you have the darker green and black, obviously. Your ball is good. Your robot is also very good. The spider is okay. I don't like the way it looks all black like that, though. It's a little strange. Cube is iconic, and I do not understand how that ship is used by anyone. I despise it. B tier. Staying on the To the Blue Moon track, we have the creator of the level itself, Vridge. Now, Vridge uses a private texture pack, so I don't have his exact icons, but I have the ones displayed on his GD profile, so I'm going to be using those rather than his texture pack. His UFO and spider, of course, like I mentioned, very good. The ship and the wave, both being the basic ones, are a little eh. I enjoy the wave a lot more, but that's also because when I first started playing the game, that's just how the wave looked. The ball is good. The cube, I was never a fan of. It feels too blocky for me, but it's definitely a decent looking cube compared to some of the other ones we have. I'm going to say B tier. Micros, also known as the Free Fucker. Micro also uses a texture pack for his icons. And like with Bridge, I'm not going to be using the texture pack ones, I'm just going to be using the ones straight from his GD profile. Now, Micros is notoriously known for using the Sonic Wave Cube, which in the texture pack that it uses is this cube right here. I do not like this cube. I don't know why. It gives me the heebie-jeebies. The ship is, I still don't understand how people use it. It feels so blocky, especially with that like front gun piece. I don't even know what that is. The wave is okay. UFO I hate. Spider I find really funny, but it does not mix well with the yellow and white. The ball is okay, and this robot I am a bit of a fan of. It is very nice looking. C tier. For the next member of the Haha chat, we have the member I've probably known for the longest in the time I've been playing this game, Firobot. Now, Firobot's like me, where he hasn't changed his icons in forever, and I can't blame him. The red and the black look so nice together, especially on the robot and the wave. I really like how it looks on the ball. But some of the other ones, such as the UFO and the spider, I don't understand how he uses them. The spider I especially despise. It looks so strange when it's round. The cube is okay. The black kind of covers it. Fyro also uses the texture pack where some of it's a little more emphasized, so it looks a little nicer. But I'm going to say B tier. Next up we have X-Figos, or Zygos, who uses a color combination I don't see often in the GD community. The way it works on the cube and the ball is really nice, as well as the robot. I love the way the shade on the spider kind of transitions between the two colors. I think that looks really nice. The UFO I don't like. The eyes just make it feel so weird. I'm gonna say B tier. Shardix is another haha member that creates content on YouTube. His icons are very nice. I really love the colors, and I was never a fan of the balls that are uneven, but this is the one of the few that I like more. The iconic ghost ship looks so nice with the outline. The spider looks funny, but funny in a good way, not funny in a bad way. The wave I would have never used, but it's definitely a decent wave. The cube is pretty iconic. Granted, I was never much of a fan of it. Even when I got it, I kind of just acknowledged it and moved on. The UFO, though, I really like, especially with the brighter colors on it. I'm going to say A tier. Coin Dragon's icons, I'm not going to lie, I really like. It's got nice colors and a very good set overall. The spider and the UFO and the ship we've all gone over. I adore all three of them, and the basic wave is really nice. The robot looks a little goofy, especially with the horn, but I think it works. And the cube I like too, even though it's a little over complex. I'm going to say A tier. For the last member of the haha chat, we have Melee. Now Melee uses all white icons, which I always thought looked nice, even though Space UK kind of ruined that. But I think it looks nice, especially on these icons. I always adored the scissor ships. I think they're funny, and they're a decent decent ship to use, not a decent pair of scissors to use. The cube is good. The robot, I don't really like that much. And this spider, it has an interesting shape to it, but it's one of the better ones. I don't like the ball, and the UFO feels a little small, so I'm going to say B tier. After slandering the icons of the members of the haha chat and showing them how much better my icons are, let's go to the default set of icons. This cube, always been a fan of. Granted, it's the first one you get when you open the game, so maybe I was just used to it, but it's decent, gets the job done. Spider's pretty good. For the basic game mode, it very much works, as does the UFO and the wave. The robot, on the better side of some of the robots, but definitely not the best one. And the ship, the basic ship, I never really enjoyed. I always found some of the other ones available to be much nicer. I'm going to say C tier. Next up, we have Don Editboy, who's the creator of a fantastic extreme called meanders, which you should check out as soon as possible, right after this video. He uses a very good color combo. I believe Panuto uses the same one or color similar to it, and I always thought it looked very nice. His cube I really like, especially with these colors that he's picked, and I feel like it looks really nice on the UFO too, but that's also because I'm the biggest simp for that UFO. The basic wave, as mentioned, I feel is pretty good, and the spider I like. The Daft Punk robot really doesn't work well with these colors, but it looks nice on its own, so And this ship always intrigued me. I would never use it, but I always felt it looked really nice, so I'm going to say A tier. Since we just went over the creator of meanders, why not go over the verifier? Here we have Ballcat or KK Boom's icon set, and he uses the white on white that I mentioned I was a fan of before. I do believe he uses a texture pack. I'm not entirely sure off the top of my head. The ball, the wave, the UFO all look very nice, as does the ship, as I mentioned. Fan of the seahorse ship. The cube and the robot, however, not the biggest fan of. More the cube, not as much the robot. And the spider's solid. It reminds me of Joltik for all you Pokemon fans out there. But I'm going to say solid B tier. I first met J2 3.5 years ago, when I first joined the Alpha team. His icons are really solid. He has a really minty color going on with the white and the lime green. And I'm a big fan of the wave, the robot, and the ship as mentioned. He uses the same ship that Boy uses. The yin and yang ball also looks pretty nice, especially with the brighter colors. And I really love how they look on the spider. The cube is okay, nothing special, but I could see myself using it. And the UFO is the only one I really have any issues with. I'm going to say, for this one, A tier. Prim or Prim, is another person I met in the Alpha team, as are the last 4 people. I don't know if the icon set he uses is consistent, so I'm just going to be judging the one he's using as of this date. His colors are really nice. He uses the same gray I do, as well as a red instead of the green. It's a lot brighter than the normal red, so it looks a lot nicer with the gray. He uses the same UFO as me, as I mentioned, I adore, and the robot's very nice too. I vaguely remember using it back in my early 2.1 days. The spider, as mentioned with Firobot, I'm not the biggest fan of. I don't like the circular shape of it. But the wave and the ball are good, and I like the eye on the ball. It was always a nice touch. The ship is nice, especially with the gray colors. And this cube is not one that I see often, but I really like it. I'm going to say, for Prim, A tier. Moving away from the Alpha team, we have my friend and a fellow content creator here on YouTube, Tria. Now, Tria plays a lot of extreme demons, and when most players tend to start beating the extremes and insanes consistently, they take off the outline on their icons. It just makes the icons look smaller and easier to read the gameplay. So Tria does this, and as of such, he doesn't have an outline. He uses the basic wave and UFO, and as mentioned before, I do like the wave. The UFO I'm not as much a fan of though. His robot I like, and I believe I used to use this one too at one point in my career. The spider I'm not the biggest fan of. It's okay, but nothing much more than that. The ball I really like, especially with the pink and blue. And now we need to talk about his colors. He reminisced of Riot back in the day when he was rocking the pink and blue, and it's become such an iconic color set for me. So I'm really happy to see him using it. The shark I'm a big fan of. I've always has been, and I've seen a lot of high-end players use it. So I've become quite accustomed to it. His icon I also really like. It's simple, but it gets the job done. For Trio, I'm going to say B tier. Next up, we have the creator of levels like Yui, Born Survivor, and Virtualization. Splinter 25 is another member of the Alpha team, although he joined a little later in the process, but he's been a staple ever since. I've been watching him since he got his first rate, and he is quite the creator, I must say. He has a very nice icon set too. The dark blue is another one of the colors similar to the green that I use, and it complements the dark gray really nicely. His cube and ball I both really like, as well as the robot, which is another one I quite frankly don't see often enough for how good it is. The spider I like. It kind of reminds me of Joltik, although it's gray in this one. If it was yellow, it'd remind me more, obviously. But I find that a funny little coincidence. The UFO is okay, and the wave, as mentioned, I'm a fan of. The ship is the only part that I don't really like, as it has a lot of extra spiky detail, and I'm not sure why. I'm not sure what it's trying to convey, but it's not my favorite ship. For Splinter, I'm going to say S tier, actually. He has quite the icon set, and other than the ship, it's really solid. S tier. Ultra Jesco on Discord used Matt from Wii Sports as his profile for the longest time, and I don't know why, but his icons vaguely remind me of that. The ball in the ship I like, although the ship's a little big in game, but that's not the biggest deal. The UFO, as mentioned before, I'm not the biggest fan of. It's okay, nothing much more than that. Same for the wave. The robot I like, although the colors don't really do it justice, and the basic spider's okay. The cube is probably the only one that I'm not as much a fan of, but I do like the orange and light green, or dark green on it, rather. I'm going to say B tier. Next up, we have the fantastic gameplay creator, Neo Has No Socks, also known as Neo. Neo uses a lot of the basic icons given to you when you first open the game, such as the UFO, wave, and spider, all of which I mentioned before I really have no issues with, and I do enjoy the casual wave so much. The robot's another one I like. The all-white really makes everything stand out, and it looks very intimidating, considering it's more skull-like now when it's all-white. The ball's pretty good. I like it that it's all-white. I think it just works, but other colors could also complement it very well. The Seahorse ship is another one I've been a fan of, as mentioned previously. And the only one I'm not too much a fan of is the cube. The cube looks strange, frankly. The eyes are weird, the mouth is big and agape, and the all-white really does nothing to help it. I'm going to say for Neo, I'm going to put him in C tier. Next up, we have one of the older Alpha Team admins, BTM. Now, I'm going to come right off the bat and say I don't like the colors. Mostly the red, the yellow I really have no issues with. As for the icons themselves, as mentioned before, the UFO and the spider I really like. Those are two that I still use today. The ship is one that I do like. The dragon ships that we have currently are mixed between very good and very bad, at least in my opinion, and I feel like this is one of the better ones. The wave is okay. I don't like that it doesn't have a middle, but that's for most of the waves. The robot I do like, and I do think the yellow works really nice on it. I just wish it wasn't paired with that red. The ball I'm not the biggest fan of. The square in the middle seems kind of clunky. It looks like Tria's icon, which is very funny. And the cube is one I do like, the black highlights especially. For BTM, I'm going to put him in B tier. For the last member of this section, we have the creator of Neo Tokyo himself, Condo. Now, Condo uses all white icons, which I do enjoy, especially with the ship, which I also happen to use. The wave and the UFO and the ball are all the basic ones. As I mentioned many times at this point, the wave I'm a fan of, the UFO's okay, and the ball's on the higher end of balls. The robot's pretty good too. I don't like the clunkiness of it, hence why I don't use it, but if given the option, I definitely would. The spider, obviously goated, same one I use, and the cube is really good too. I really like the all white on it. I think it looks really nice. For Condo, he's gonna go right in A tier. Currently, here's what our tier list looks like. In C tier, we have Micros, the default icons, and Neo has no socks. In B tier, Max Velocity, Vridge, Firobot, XY Ghost, Melee, Ballcat, Tria, Ultra Jesco, and BTM. In A tier, we have Shardix, Coin Dragon, Dundit Boy, J2, Crimsara, and Condo. And in S tier, you have me and Splinter 25. Now, you might be staring at the timestamp of this video, seeing that we have less than 2 minutes left, and wondering, didn't Boomsoks say he was going to do his friends and GD YouTubers? Well, I may have lied a little. When originally planning this video out, it was going to be around 20 to 25 minutes, but this wasn't the case. So due to this, I'm splitting it up into 2 parts, having the first part be haha members and community friends of mine, and the second half be GD YouTubers. When this video goes live, there's also going to be a community post opened on my channel, asking you guys to vote for my next upload. Right now, it's a toss-up between the second half of this, ranking the icon sets of GD YouTubers, or another reflection video, similar to my 30k one. Both are already in the works, so it's just a matter of what you guys want to see first from me as a content creator. Anyways, that's all from me, and I'll see you guys next week with another upload. Before leaving, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the notification bell so you can get notified for my next upload. And comment where you think your icon set would go. I'm curious to see what you guys think. Stay safe, and be sure to laugh a little. It is the best medicine after all. Boomer, out.